Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast with the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like local news, sports, music, people, food, and snow. My name is Pete, and I'm joined with the voice of Lake Forest High School basketball, football, lacrosse, chess team, Skoo. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Make a memory of a lifetime with Shark Eye Outdoors out of Longboat Key, Florida. Experience their shark beach fishing, kayak tours, and fossil hunting. Go to sharkeyeoutdoors.com to schedule an outing now. Forest Bluff Real Estate Group serves Illinois, Wisconsin, Lake Forest, and Lake Bluff. John Josephidis, Laura Lee Van Fleet, and of course, Michelle Parno. Get a free market analysis now at forestbluffrealestate.com. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters. Reverend Luke Back from the Church of the Holy Spirit. Matt A., Elizabeth C., Costa Lance, Otto, RDM, John C., and then we have the Lake Forest Breakfast Group, Broad Stop Kenosha, Captain Mike's Kenosha, Greentown Tavern Waukegan, and the Frolic Lounge in Waukegan. Walker, how you doing, Skoo?
Hey, Pete. How are you? Nice and cold Wednesday.
Yeah.
Snow on the horizon.
What's the latest update? Now here's like 5 inches, and it's not so much the snow, it's the wind and the cold.
Yeah, I hope it's not the snow because I'm not ready yet. I got to get cars in the garage and all this stuff. But we'll know by the time this comes out.
Well, I say the temperature is going to drop like 30 degrees in a few hours. So I think that's pothole weather.
Well, get all your crummy cars in your garage.
So that means get all our cars in the garage?
That's us. That's me.
Hey, we got a new supporter.
Who? Pete
Forest Bluff Real Estate.
Supporter.
Realty, the Forest Bluff Real Estate Group. John
Nice.
Josephidis, Laura Lee Van Fleet, and of course, Michelle Parnell. Welcome to the fine confines of the Lake Forest Podcast. We appreciate your support.
Support, sponsor? What are you considering?
It's support. It's
Support?
Patreon. It's a donation.
Okay.
It's
All right.
It's like Channel 11, without the bad telethons.
No, we'll announce their name every show.
Yes, absolutely we will. So
right there.
Right there. So I saw Michelle Parnell. I went to what a wacky week, Skoo. What a wacky week. I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
wacky.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it is. Particularly for us.
Well, it's nice to be everybody's friend now.
Right.
All
we've been doing is the same thing, but now we have everyone likes it.
I've been listening to you for a long time. But before I get into my
soliloquy,
I met an awesome listener / viewer, Helen. Hello, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
She likes our food reviews.
Ah, there we go.
So
tell me, we need to get old Lake Forester and just base our show around that because that has everything in it.
Yeah.
We can add into it.
They're still using that label. The Tribune is, I don't know. Dorfman is.
Yeah, it's not really a Lake Forester when you are advertising everything outside of Lake Forest and have articles about outside of Lake Forest.
Like Florida?
Yeah. Today in Naples.
So where do I begin, Skoo?
I don't know. It's your show. You take us on your ride.
Okay.
Today.
It's our show. It's your town. So first of all,
take us on that little bicycle ride through town. What do you want us to see?
First of all, happy winter solstice. Is that what you're calling it?
Well, now winter starts today. We're no longer in fall.
Oh,
call it what you want. It's the start of winter.
Okay. I thought that was another word for
The winter solstice. It's always been called that. But
is it? Okay.
For laymen like you, it's first day of winter.
Okay. So Merry Christmas. So let's see, it'll be Christmas Eve when this podcast comes out. So everybody's sitting around roasting their chestnuts
Or
by the open fire and listening to Skoo and Pete. Everybody's friend now. Everybody. Oh yeah.
I don't have that broad of shoulders, but obviously not. Some people can get away with this with big shoulders.
I don't think you can say broad anymore.
I got my.
You could go to New Delhi anytime. So
some people don't recognize me without my dog. So,
all right. So where do we begin, Skoo?
I don't know. My head keeps shaking.
So Dr. Randy Tack, the caucus choice for mayor. You know him better than I do. So if I'm going to talk about somebody, I want to meet him. You quit moving your head. You're getting me seasick. So if I'm going to talk about somebody, I want to meet them face to face, hear what they got to say, and
And I'll caveat that, Pete.
Yeah.
I know Randy probably as much as you do. I know who he is, but I, just recently have met him and gotten to know him a little bit better. But go ahead.
So we said, hey, let's go to Starbucks, nice public place. Go in, sit down, have a cup of coffee, $5. That's the first time this year I've bought a coffee there.
I know. Crazy.
And so first of all, you can't find parking. Parking is really bad here. I just never noticed that because I always walk, and it was chilly. So
there's a lot of parking lots, but there's not a lot of parking in front of Starbucks.
That's why you got those little kid runners, little shorties.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, anyways, so we go in there and we didn't have a place to sit. I said, well, let's go. I felt bad. I go, let's go see Mary over at Gerhards as I'm holding, I ordered online a garbage can full of iced coffee. I say, let's go down to Mary's and see if we can get a seat in there. So we're like, all right, we go walk down the street and, we're a little chit-chatting, but you can't get too intimate as you're walking down the sidewalk. And we open up the door. Mary's behind the counter and there's two people there. And it's like a lot of yelling going on.
This is at Mary's place.
Well, I'm nearsighted, right? So I open up the door and I just see fuzzy images and I had to get closer. Next thing I know, Dr. Tack takes off that way. I'm like, huh? And I get closer and the ladies turn around. Prue Beidler.
Whoa.
How the heck are you? And I guess I interrupted a discussion of whether Mary, a small business owner, should have Randy Tack's sign in the window.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what?
You can't make this stuff up. So
oh my God.
I go, Prue, I've been emailing you, I've been leaving messages, and I'm not going to let you go. It's either you come on or you don't. I go, I got Randy waiting out on the sidewalk. I want to meet with you. I want to hear where you're coming from because I'm going to talk about you. I've already talked about you, but I want to see you face to face and have you answer, these 3 or 4 things. And of course, she does, the political thing. A lot of word salad. I needed some Thousand Island dressing, but
yikes.
I went down the list and I said, hey, if I have you on, you got to answer these points. And the first issue was, I said, Prue, how are you going to answer to that you've given 250 grand, $250,000 to a political party that's not around here? And you've given $5 grand to the caucus over your time. Thank you for doing the $5 grand, but I think you're going to be spending more than $5 grand on the lawn signs. I said, number 2, you're going to play the female card. And 1 year ago, I quit the caucus because they were trying to push a female through, not the best person.
Who's now in the council.
And, number 3.
We'll get into that too.
Well, that 250 grand, that includes Kim Fox. How do you think the boys in blue like that? You know what I mean? Third thing is, you supported a system for 25 years, and it's the same system that said no to you 3 times by 3 different caucus committees that they didn't want you as the mayoral pick.
But supported her for alderman for 6 years.
For 6 years.
And for other things. So, yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the minute I said that donation thing, she did, it was like kryptonite. She levitated like 6 feet to the left. Susan comes up and starts defending.
You need to say Garrett, because it's instrumental.
Okay.
And who it is.
Okay. Susan Garrett came in underneath Prue, came up between us, and Prue levitated 6 feet to the left, and I swear to God, it was 3 bags of word salad on how, well, what's the big deal that it's, well, a quarter mill's a quarter mill, and defended it. So we're 20 minutes going at it. And I said, bottom line, Prue, come on, let people know what you're about. If you don't want to talk about the donations, I won't ask about it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about it. It's public knowledge. And
well, isn't it in Cook County too?
Yeah, Cook County. Yeah.
And we live in Lake County?
We live in Lake County. So
interesting.
So she doesn't want to touch that at all. And if we give her the questions beforehand, maybe she'll come on. To me, that's a big no. So
we'll give her the questions.
Okay. Well, Prue, I got your card. We talked. Let me know what we can ask. Come on the show and let everybody hear what you got to say.
Well, and the first thing I want to clarify, because I heard it happened in Starbucks, but you're clarifying it was at Gerhards where it happened. That kind of discussion.
Well, first of all, I've never met Prue.
Right.
And I've never met Sue.
No, they're at Gerhards, not Starbucks.
Right.
Yeah. The story I heard was at Starbucks.
No, Dr. Tack and I were going to meet at Starbucks,
right,
and it was too crowded. Right. So we said, let's go see Mary. We open up the door. Mary, she's not shy.
No.
I think she was getting challenged on the sign in the window, Dr. Tack. Mary was having none of it. And I don't think that's the way you're going to win votes, by pissing off Mary.
Well, I mean, you're not going to win votes when you're not Mary, but going to our great small businesses in town and chastising the owner for something that couldn't even be a discussion. and now on top of it, throw in one of our more prominent small business owners.
Wait, what now? Who's more prominent?
What are you talking about?
No, our more prominent. You're talking about
our more prominent business owners.
Yeah,
I said.
Yeah. So
don't piss off the business owners, but then and try to force your way to say who you should vote for. But on top of it, like I said, not doing it to one of our more prominent small business owners in Mary is not, not going to garner much support.
I don't think that's good word. That's not good word of mouth. So, no. I know Mary more than any of them. Okay. Cool lady, runs a tight ship, and to give her flack, that's not good. But I didn't know what was going on. I don't know Prue. I don't know Sue. I just met Dr. Tack, and all this stuff is going down. So whatever. Prue finally left. Dr. Tack came in. We sat down. I felt bad. I got a big garbage can full of Starbucks, and I said, all right, Mary, give me I don't know what I ordered, but I said, I'll buy 10 times the value of the sweet treats there that you have in there. And we sat down, we talked for 90 minutes, and I vouch, good dude. I see why he got through. Good dude. Continue every Saturday from 9 to 11 at the Starbucks. Dr. Tack's going to do a meet and greet, and Alderman Goshgarian. Did I say that right? Because I don't want to screw up his first name. So Era
Goshgarian.
Goshgarian. That's what I said.
Doing a lot of editing.
They know. So I open up the door and go to Starbucks. I was going to meet Era there just to say, hello and talk, because he's running for alderman.
Right.
And then and who do I see? Jimmy Preshalck, Alderman Preshalck. First time I met him face to face. I mean, everybody.
They're all out and about.
They're all, working it.
Not only is it the start of winter, it's the start of campaign season for mayor and alderman.
Yeah.
And school board in Lake Forest.
Well, I didn't see any school board people.
Probably won't.
I talked to Jim for a while. Good dude. Exactly how he comes across in the meetings. Talked to Era. He's got to be one of my most favorite people that's a Democrat. I got to put that out there. He's a good dude. It just goes to show you can lean across the aisle, Skoo.
That's right. Used to be you didn't know what someone's political party was. Now you base your friendship around it.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Well, thanks to social media. So I talked to him, and then I was going to just say goodbye to Dr. Tack because I already saw him, and I got to look up this. I'm not good with names, Skoo.
No, you're not.
But I just wanted to say, Dr. Tack, goodbye. And I said, who's this young lady you're talking to? And I'm looking at her. I'm like, boy, you look familiar. And she goes, wow, you look familiar. And
hey, I'm 7 feet tall.
So I get closer, the fuzziness clears up. I'm like, oh, HPC. I'm Pete from the podcast. She did one of those 6-foot levitations.
Really?
It was Jan Gibson. Jan Gibson. And
Merry Christmas, Jan.
Merry Christmas, Jan. And like I told her to her face, I said, you guys got to smile a lot more. We'd have less lawsuits.
Oh, geez.
I have a way.
Yeah, you do. Well, you need to put maybe a harness on this Chicago boy.
Well, we try. You can take the boy out of Chicago. But that was my week, Skoo. So
wow.
And then the articles come out.
Unbelievable.
Our boy Jonah. I think it's Jonah.
Who's Jonah?
The patch guy.
Jonah.
Here, I'll tell you.
I don't know Jonah. I know Jonah in Sleepless in Seattle. The kid. Who's Jonah?
Jonah Meadows. He's the dude that writes all the patch articles around.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he write? I haven't seen that one.
I sent it to you. I forwarded it to you. It's the patch email. Basically, it was slanting towards Prue against the caucus. They're talking about the bylaws. I'm like, how long ago we've been talking about the bylaws?
Isn't it funny how the stuff we've been talking about for what have we been doing this for a year? People have said, you're BS. It's all fake.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
And then the League of Women Voters.
Did they chime in?
Well, yeah, they put a few quotes in there for Prue. So
that could be interesting because they're the only ones that really have a mayoral debate. So how are they going to keep that?
I don't know. I think we could have a debate.
Wow.
It's
And then the caucus letters went out. Just everyone's are doing letters. And
does anybody read those things?
I don't know. I did.
Okay. It's better than nothing, but it's
well, I don't think it's I mean, it's great that goes out and to the whole caucus base, but I think they need to do a lot more than just sending a really long email, because I gotta say that's going to hit trash cans more than people reading it. And oh, by the way, when you get it in your email, the writing is so tiny that, like trying to, so I mean, that's great, but they got a lot more work to do, which we've had said for over a year now. If today is what we predicted back then, call you Nostra Pete, but they got a lot of work to do. And I don't know where we want to start. But I mean, that caucus letter, I found it interesting. There was two aldermen not there mentioning their support for the caucus slate, which I have issue with. And I've since heard that these two aldermen have decided to, as they say, quote unquote, I love the air bunnies, sit this one out. And Eileen Weber and Nancy Novitt. And I don't understand. And I think by saying I'm sitting at, first off, I don't give a rat's who people vote for. That's their personal choice and all that. However, when you are serving on a board or commission and you went through the caucus process, which is the only process in Lake Forest to get appointed to these boards and commissions and city council and et cetera, you need to support it whether you want to or not. You can't sit it out.
Well, Luby wants to be mayor.
Everyone does. I mean, there's not a person on the council that doesn't want to be a mayor. And I'll argue everyone that says, oh, that's not true. Everyone, your goal to be an alderman is you want to be mayor too. And maybe you don't have that pathway, and you say, oh no, I don't want to, but come on. Anyway, to sit it out is not acceptable. You support the process that got you to where you are, or you publicly say, I don't support the caucus. Okay. Those two aldermen are doing exactly what Prue's doing. They got their way to where they are, and now they don't want to support that. And that's wrong. You can vote if those two want to vote for Prue, more power to them. Two different things. You got on that. Those two people, and Nancy Novitt, there's a lot of question I have on how she even got onto the city council after going through that caucus process where the caucus was told by the president at the time, all things being equal in this discussion, you vote for the woman. Wow. How interesting. Now, all of a sudden, now we're on a ticket that's, pushing, we should be voting for a woman and not the best candidate. But, and then on top of it, the caucus has her husband now, who was an alderman, now on the caucus. But the conflict of interest just blows me away. But needless to say, to sit out and say, I'm sitting this one, you can't sit out this one.
What does sitting this out mean?
Sitting it out means I'm voting for Prue, and I don't want to say I'm voting for Prue, and I don't really care who you vote for. You are part of the caucus system, just like every registered voter in the city is part of the caucus. Whether you like it or not, you are. And
You should step down.
but you can vote for whoever you want. There's a big difference. So, but more importantly, all these people on boards and commissions that are on there because of the caucus process should be supporting that process. The slate, whether you disagree with the slate or not, have the balls to say, I disagree with it. I don't agree with the current slate as it is. That's fine. Say it. Don't hide behind it. And don't sit there and say, I'm sitting this one out. There's no such thing as sitting this one out. You support it or you don't support it. And those two aldermen have a responsibility to the voters. If they don't support it, just say it. Say it publicly. Don't say I'm sitting out. Because if you're sitting out, that means you're not voting either. And I know they're voting. So that's the first thing that really pisses me off, is that this whole process is, like I said before in other podcasts, I like Prue. You can replay the podcast and said if she was the one chosen, I think it would be a great decision. She wasn't chosen.
3 times.
3 times. Not this. She wasn't not chosen 3 times by the sitting caucus. 3 different caucuses so something in that process, which is not obviously, it's produced the right mayor 3 consecutive times, but something in her process, my understanding is for the mayoral position, there's 3 stages of interviews. So that's 9 interviews, right?
Yeah.
For mayor, for 3 different caucuses. Something happened along the way that she didn't follow, which is, that it happens. I mean,
a lot.
People don't interview well. Yeah, I mean, it happens.
They don't prepare for the meetings.
Yeah, and
they become aldermen.
And again, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, to ask questions like, "What do you do to prepare for this meeting?" What is softball? That's not even a softball question. That's a no ball question, because it just melts. And to ask those questions on a very important position for our community, and then to get on there onto the council, and then sit there and kind of throw wind to it, saying, "Yeah, I don't support it." It blows my mind that these people. I mean, what if those 2 aldermen, Eileen and Nancy? I believe her name's Nancy. I keep saying Nancy, but
Nancy Novitt.
But to sit there and say I'm out in supporting the caucus, you're doing the exact same thing Prue's doing, which was wrong. You know what? If Prue would have said, "Okay, I didn't get the nod, but I'm going to run against the caucus," fine, then do it. But no, they had to undermine by sending out an email, which Prue sent out to a select group of people to come out and undermine the meet and greet vote for meet the slate of candidates. That was not right. That's where she lost my respect, because that's not right. What she did to undermine the process is, it's wrong. And, I just don't, I mean, if she would have just, accepted it and then said, "I'm going to run," fine. But she had to and she took bad advice from whoever is giving her advice on this stuff. "Oh, let's do this or let's do that. And this is how we're going to attack things." It's wrong for the city. It's against the city, against the process. And my thing is, who knows what's going to happen? But, if she is to somehow become mayor, my question I want to ask her, and I'm asking it now, and I want you to come on. And if I see you, don't turn away from me in public. Answer the question is, how are you going to work with the caucus process if you're elected mayor? Since you're going against it, you want to undermine it and blow it up. What happens if you're mayor and you have to approve caucus candidates and put them on the boards and commissions? What are you going to do? It seems like you have a lot of people that are, on your side, like, to me, are you gonna deny every caucus recommendation and put whoever you want on there? I mean, that's the question I want. How are you going to work with the city? How are you going to work as the mayor to, bring
Sounds like
back?
she's going to work with Novit and Luby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more upset with those two saying I'm sitting this out or not going to support the caucus that actually got them to where they are to say I'm not going to support it. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And like I said, and people that want to bitch and moan to me and say, "Oh, you're wrong, Skoo." I'm making it clear there is a difference between supporting something that got you to where you are and voting.
Yeah.
I don't care who you can go vote for whoever you want. Close that curtain, but you can't sit this out when you're supposed to be supporting, the process. And I had it was funny, and hopefully we get more people listening, and it sounds like we are. But here's the thing: I had a friend ask me the other day, and they said, Skoo, what's going on? You seem to know a lot of what's going on in the town on this stuff. And the person said to me, I like Prue and all this, and I heard, wow, it's going on and on. What's all this, bad mojo that I'm hearing? And I proceeded to tell her all the behind the scenes stuff. And the response was, wow, I didn't know that. I think she's a great person, and she's running to be the first woman mayor. So I want people to caution, this isn't a popularity contest. And this isn't about the first woman to be mayor. I'm all for having a woman mayor. However, they have to go through the process and be selected by the process as the best candidate, not the all things being equal. But so anyways, this person was like, wow, you're kidding. I guess my point is, Pete, people got to understand what's going on and look into what's going on, and not just I'm voting because she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. She is a nice person. She is a great person, but the stuff she's done is not really nice. And it looks like what she's planning on doing is not really nice. And it's going to cause a wedge in our great community. I have a fear.
Skoo, I just need her to answer those 3 points, just looking at the objective data. Spend quite a bit on politicians that aren't in Lake County,
right?
Playing the female card when the caucus was clearly trying to put a woman in the position.
Well, that's the funniest thing is they were trying to.
That's how Novit got in.
I mean, they were trying as hard as they could to get a woman on there, which is fine. But again, I mean, it's like, aren't all good processes usually work their way through things? And I mean, it's like we've had our disagreements, you and I both, about how the caucus operates, and it's more people issue than process. But this is a classic. It's like, I think they did everything they could to get that woman through. And then at the end, when you're going through the interview process, it was like, oh God, I mean, we can't put, and that's the thing that just blows me away.
No, it was Novit and Jamie Moorhead. Jamie Moorhead blew the doors off the interview, top to bottom, knew everything.
Oh, for the Alderman, yeah.
Yeah. And he got screwed. And what I saw was the foundation of all this crud that's going on. This has been not just this caucus committee, it's been like the last 3 at least, right?
If not more,
that had put this thing.
Because I think you look at the bylaws and all the amendments happened in the last few years where it's just almost kind of comical. It's going, well, wait a minute. First off, why are we changing bylaws and making little tweaks to stuff? I mean, it's like, obviously there's something up.
Well, Skoo, I think we'll put the card to the podcast here, but the bylaws were down for like several months.
Right.
They couldn't get it right in that time
I
period.
remember we kept asking, "Oh no, you can't look at those bylaws.
Oh, no.
We got to get them adjusted
It's
first
a
before."
glitch. It's a glitch. It's a glitch.
No, I mean, and it's interesting because for all the frailties we talked about of the people on the caucus, now it's come, where they have to step up. I mean, their slate is it is what it is, and they got to back it now because, I'm going to assume, Prue. I always say, I don't know why money, especially in this little town like Forest to run for mayor, money becomes an issue, but it's going to be because obviously she's got dough if she's just given $200,000 to Cook County mayor and
Well, again, if
district attorney or
school
whatever.
board,
But I don't know why that money's not funneled back. That should be, if you want to donate and you love Lake Forest and you love all the process and everything, where's the love to all our local stuff? I mean, $5,000 to the caucus, that's great, but
Kim Fox.
But I guess the point is the caucus, now they're faced with they gotta, go toe to toe. I mean, the caucus can't lose. I mean, it's unprecedented. This has not happened, I don't think, in ever, if that's a right phrase, but that's their role now. And these 43 members of the caucus got to step up. They got to start talking to the neighbors. They got to start getting donations if money's an issue, and
money will be an issue.
And the thing is, they've had so many problems internally already that, with people not showing up for a meeting, let alone now you got to really step up. And, that's the difficulty. And, we said it before, the president got to step up, and I don't know if necessarily he's getting the right advice by just sending out emails, but there's got to be a lot of more talking. He's got to start coming out and talking to people, shaking hands and kissing babies. And this is why you need to support the caucus and the candidates come April, and getting people to vote from home or whatever it is, because there's a lot at stake here. I mean, you want to talk about, everyone talks about, oh, just blow up the caucus. And I know you've had your issues on that and about, hiring something else, but there's a trickle down effect to how we operate the entire city if that thing blows up. I mean, particularly working with the city staff and all that and actually getting things done. I mean, it could be a devastating, trickle down negative impact, which,
well,
there's reasons why people move here. And, there's a lot of it's tied to how we operate our city, our infrastructure, everything. And like I said, you can bitch and moan about stuff, but there's a lot to be said. And I know you laugh at this, the AAA bond rating is huge when you look at, stuff that has to be done or money you have to get from the state. I mean, this is all a result of how our system is. And low taxes. We have the lowest property taxes in the county. That's a good thing, but all this push to do stuff that doesn't make sense is going to implode that, and that's what's going to happen if we have infiltration that goes against the process like this.
Well, you say how's Prue going to get along with the city people and the alderman going against all the process?
Right.
How's she going to get along with the small business people if she treats Mary like that?
That's Pete. That's my whole point about the trickle down. I mean, you can't go to business owners in town, in this little town that we're dying to get business owners in town, and sit there and say, I'm sorry, you can't have this sign because it's not me. And my thing is, every response should be back to her is, well, why aren't you supporting the process that has supported you for all these years? Why are you, after 3 runs, and oh, by the way, the last time she got denied, there's a letter out there that two aldermen, Lansing and her, went on record, printed that they back the caucus process and they understand, and this is a great thing, and we got to continue doing this. And it's been, I'm paraphrasing, but you didn't get nominated two mayoral segments ago. Why didn't you run then? Well, you know why? Because she wasn't as qualified. And it's Prue's done a lot of good things, but it's like, this is a big bad thing. And it's like, you don't want to reward the petulant child with a sucker because they're screaming loud.
Skoo, I haven't been here that long. And for me to stumble over and witness with my own eyes and ears to see what is going on, if that's a small sample, I can only imagine what's been going on throughout town.
Right.
To me, look, we'll have Prue on. She can tell me, hey, Pete, you're wrong. Seems to me it's like,
I hope we're wrong.
Yeah.
But again, we're just seeing and hearing stuff.
Well, I saw and heard
and you
stuff,
saw it. Well, that's
and I was
saying.
right there.
I know.
But it's almost like this is like somebody's last hurrah on their way out of town. Whether it's going to Florida or whatever.
She's not on her way out of town.
Huh?
She's not on her way out of town.
Okay.
No.
It's like burning bridges and splitting.
Well, it's the don't you do it, but I can do it. We're gonna, if you try to do it, we're gonna chastise. But if I do it, this is who I am. I mean,
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm Lake Forest. This is I've done this, I've done that. I have a right to be this. You don't have a right. You have a right if you're selected. And now they're trying to flip this thing and take it to the masses and say, agree with me on this. And all I'm saying is you vote how you want to vote. I don't really care, but at least understand it's not a popularity contest. And I'm starting to see this stuff on Facebook and social media.
There we go.
No, seriously, that, I love Prue. She's got my vote, or she's the greatest, or this and that, which is true. But this isn't know what the issues are and know how.
Male, female, that's the issue.
It's not the issue.
That's what
I mean, I know it is the issue, but it's not. it's the best candidate, and that's why we have this process. And
until
whatever it may be, now the caucus is put in a position that they've been laissez-faire about stuff for years. They've been trying to do things that aren't right, and now they got to step up. Because you know what, they're going to implode themselves if she does win.
Yeah.
They're. I mean, why would you want to even be on the caucus? Let's take away the whole Prue thing for a minute. Is if that caucus fails to get their candidate slated, I mean, it's hard enough to get people to come on the caucus, as you know, Pete. And once you get on, it's all of a sudden it's this epiphany like there's work to be done. I got to do work. I got to go to meetings. So it's difficult.
I got to donate money.
It's difficult to get people. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have to donate, but
shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Mike Adams.
But to get people on there is hard. It gets people on there, and then to work is hard. Let alone now. That's blown up. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy to me with the caucus, how they've been operating. But you know what? It's worked and all this. Now they got to work a little bit harder because they created this monster that, well, Dave and his group have to really step up and it's just sending out social media stuff or emails. You got to get out there now. You got to get that exec council. Now they got to get their salt. They need to go out there and start supporting Randy and Era and all the new, and the new alderman coming on and all that. And here's the other thing is with the new alderman, Prue attacking that too. Well, you know what? Again, there's no females on the new alderman slot. Again, they went through the process and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were females in that interview process, but you also got to look into it too. Is like, it's like with the federal government and all that. Sometimes the best people stay on the sidelines and look in and go, peek in and go, are you freaking kidding me? I'm not getting involved in this. So not only we may not have the best qualified, but we have the people that are raising their hand. But they vetted that process, and where's Prue leading her own slate of candidates? If it's truly a woman issue, then she should have a slate of women candidates to go up against the open alderman spot. But obviously she doesn't. So again, we're now back to it. It's an individual person who feels she was slighted, and here's how I'm going to do it. And boy, is she getting some bad advice, I think. But just what I've been hearing. But a lot of work to be done till April, and
Skoo, just like everybody watch Netflix, Social Dilemma. Negativity sells.
Well,
negativity sells, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, and that's. But again, I mean, I think we need to, be that community voice, the educated community voice, to get what we know and hear and get it out there so people can, hear it and formulate their own opinions. But I'm not spouting any bias here. I mean, and I'm sure people think that, but I'm not. I'm always been the right person, the best person, but it seems lately we're not picking those right people, and that's what I struggle with.
Well, nobody could be more of a hypocrite than me. I flip-flopped I don't know how many times. And all I can do is, like, when I'm faced with new information, I change my mind. It's like, all right. And
but you and I've gone back about it, and I'm not saying I've reeled you into the process, but it's like, I support it all, but then when you see someone, you're like, wow. I mean, well, maybe Skoo was like, like you said, you flip flop because it's the only game in town, the process. But then when you see people subverting it, and it's like, yeah, that's not really how it should, And you of all people have. If you want to have an axe to grind, you have an axe, but you don't. I mean, it's like you're seeing
the axe is so small.
Right.
I couldn't jump down
your axe started like this, and then over time, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like...
Well, they got 4 months or so. Hunt, the president, was at Starbucks with Randy, so he was there, but
he shouldn't be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
He's the one that needs to be out. It's his, if you're going to claim to be the president of the caucus in the process, this is your slate.
Yeah.
And you got to be out there.
It shouldn't be a Christmas present to come on the podcast.
Right.
Don't do us any favors.
You got to be screaming from the highest mountains. You can't be sitting in the background and listen to Randy talk, which is great, but you need to be out there. This is it shouldn't be David Hunt. It should be the entire exec council of the caucus at the Starbucks, educating the people on the process and why, not getting negative about the people running, but the facts on why, it's not a secret. This is the other thing that drives me crazy about the caucus.
Yeah.
And I'm not slamming the caucus in any way, shape, or form, because I don't want to give fodder to. But one of the issues I have with it is the secret. It's secret. You can't know about this. Well, I do want to know about it. I want to know what happened in the interview process. What did Prue do wrong that made 43 people elected by the community decide, I like him better? I need to know that. I voted for you, or at least my ward people. Tell me why. It's not a secret.
What's the summary?
Here's why Randy, and I know why Randy was selected, and it's clear. And like I said earlier, is on an earlier podcast, I mean, those two served together on the council at
Yeah.
the same time. And me being a citizen watching these council meetings and seeing subcommittees and all that, you know what? Just on the face value of it, Randy Tack was a stronger alderman than Prue. Prue's a good alderman, but Randy was the stronger one. So that even just comparing what they did together on the council, it was a good selection. And I think he is the right choice that will bring that stability and strengthen the whole process and keep the city where it is and moving forward. I mean,
Skoo, all I know is I'm an old school bar guy. I got to look at somebody's eyes, talk to them for a while, and
me too.
And when somebody's willing to talk to you and give their point of view, okay, I get it, I trust it. When people don't do that, I don't trust them.
Right.
I don't want nothing to do with them. So, Prue, unfortunately for me, you're leaning on that side. You got to answer those three things.
Why not?
The money,
right?
The money to the political parties outside of Lake County, the female card, and going against the caucus process. You have to address those three issues. You address those three, good.
Well,
she'll come on the show, but she won't address those three issues.
Well, she'll come on the show with, her entourage of people.
What's her name? Sue what? I get the name
Susan
wrong.
Garrett.
Garrett.
And she what is was Susan? A congresswoman.
Oh, she was. Okay. Yeah.
She was her office was in Highwood, and she represented for years.
Okay.
And
she's got the word salad down. Perfect.
Oh, of course she does. But see, that's the thing is like Prue's taken to another level where she's making it a political party issue as opposed to, and that's, and to start going after the caucus and wanting to blow it up and say, these are reasons why it's bad.
Go after the caucus. Don't go after Mary at Gerhards.
Right. But even that, don't even go against the caucus because it's not, I'm expecting this from someone running that just says, I'm not going to go through the process. I just want to do this, which that's fine too. But, don't attack the process that's put you where you are. And moving forward, you have to work with that group of people. That's going to be the most bizarre thing. But again, Randy, I don't want to waste time on the other side, but Randy is a great guy. He knows Lake Forest, and he's proven as a councilman for the 6 years or whatever it was. He's done some great stuff to support the growth of the city. Whether people want to disagree or not, he's is going to be a great mayor, just like the past ones.
Some of the things he wants to correct is the council meetings.
Some
of those executive meetings, they go to like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, they're nuts. But Pete, this is the whole thing. It's like, it even goes up to the council is when you're getting people that don't want to do the work or just continue to babble and drag things out. That's not what it should be. They should be hour meetings. Maybe subcommittee meetings take a little bit longer, but to have 3 and 4 hour public meetings and then you can't get anything done.
It's almost like a filibuster.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Let's be real. Whether it's Prue or whether it's Randy, they're not trying to kill the city. They both love the city.
Yeah.
Right. I gotta believe not out to kill the city, but on the flip side, we have a process. Stick to the process, and Randy's a great choice, and a great individual.
Good dude. He has some solid things to say. I see why the caucus picked him. I see why they caucus, at least what I saw in the initial meeting and, one meeting. Okay. I read people the first time. And when people run away from an issue versus dealing with it head on, that donation thing, she disappeared, and that Susan girl came up to my like kneecap. I'm like, now this is why.
Because she's an expert on it.
Yeah.
She's an expert
perfect.
on campaign funding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
She's been through it.
Excellent. I'd like to be a 10% of a wordsmith that she was.
There's a reason why she was continually reelected and all that. But
so the thing that caucus has to understand is that there is a passionate foe against them that are wanting to go out and do these things versus the caucus that doesn't, or a good chunk of them don't want to. All right. They're going up against money. All right. I don't know if they're going to get the same money. Maybe Prue will throw some more money down. Okay.
Well, and like I said, it shouldn't be about money. We have 43 people behind their slate that they put together. And those 43 people have friends and family and all that stuff. It's kind of like that telephone line game, is they got to go to work and start promoting their slate. And, you know, the money thing, Pete, here's my take on it. The money thing more comes into play for someone running up against the caucus. And not the fact, and I'm not saying, well, the caucus only has this little amount of money in there. The caucus has 43 people. They have past city people. They have a huge base to rally from. Whereas that person running outside, that's where the money, they got to, you know, they don't have that base, right? So they got to hire people and they got to do all this and they got to pay for all. So the money really, I expect Prue to spend a lot of money, but the caucus doesn't have to spend a lot of money. They have the people. And if they want to get money and donations to, you know, do this or this. Yeah. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not.
If you had to throw out a number of the 43 on the caucus, how many of them do you think are really engaged?
From 60, what I've heard,
60%.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little less.
So,
well, I'm just.
I know, but what I'm saying is that 43 is really like 20, 25.
Right. Well, it shouldn't be, and that's what they're going to use the other against. You know.
Yeah. Well, the Patch article. It seems like Prue's got Jonah on her side, because Jonah said that she brought 500 people to that caucus meeting.
Well, she lied about that. Like, there weren't 500 people.
I know. How do you get 5?
But see, that's the thing.
Can you fit 500 people in there?
But see, that's the thing is, you know, this is where the caucus has to step in and refute that.
Yeah.
And say that's not true, and they have the actual numbers. I mean, so, but my point is, it's a money game, but the caucus, and I'm talking about not just the 43 people, but their neighbors and their friends, and oh, by the way, past mayors and aldermen and all that stuff all support the caucus. That's a ton of people supporting the process. And that gets the word out. She doesn't have that. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on, Skoo. You just told me that 2 of the current aldermen aren't going to. They're sitting this one out. If you don't have the support of the current people, how do you get the past people? You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean, because it's very, because my point I'm trying to make, Pete, is you go out and ask for the support. Yeah. Okay, the 2 aldermen are wrong. They're wrong. They need to support the process that got them there. But the past people. Yeah, there's probably going to be past aldermen or board or commission member that don't support it, which is fine. But my point I'm trying to make is the caucus has huge support, whether it's personnel or money, but the current caucus has to get off their you-know-what and go generate that. And, you know, don't kid yourself. You know, you got current aldermen and past aldermen and all that running, you know, interference also right now. But that's what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily, it's only a money issue with Prue, because she doesn't have all that support. And the support's there if you drum it up. And that's what David Hunt and the 43 have to start doing. Not rely on everyone else to do it. Everyone else is going to do it, but you got to own what you strive. You sat there and, under the past president and all that, and you hid behind that person and screamed at people and told people to do this because you were going to be the next president. Now it's time to step up and really show that leadership, because now you have something that you've walked into, gifted, and your past predecessor didn't have this, nor did the one before that, nor did the one before that have this type of mayoral challenge. And
Skoo, I think there's only one thing we can do is do the bean count for the Lake Forest podcast, where we put who you're going to vote for, Prue or Randy. I'll put it on the email, see what comes back.
Yeah, that could be it's not going to be.
It's the first. I mean, we got 4 months. We're running out of time. So,
well, not necessarily. That's just always been the number.
People get fired up for you. Okay.
But you gotta, and the other thing is, it's going to be, this, I can guarantee you, is not going to be a 3,000 vote winner. Like it's been in the past.
How many think we'll get? I don't even know how many are registered.
I don't know how many are registered, but I'm going to guess it's going to be a pretty good number.
Well, female.
Hey, you talked about the school board people. That's how funny that has kind of died on the.
I don't even know who they are. I don't know who that other alderman is. You know what I mean? It's like, why am I talking to Jim and Era at Starbucks, and the other guy is in Toronto? Who is the other guy?
Oh, Powers. We've talked to Powers.
Okay.
And then
we've talked to him.
John Powers?
Oh, no, not John Powers. I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah, no, we haven't talked to that person. I'm trying to think of who it is.
What's his name?
Neely or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Powers. Yeah, I know Powers. Like the back of my hand.
But, again, to everyone, I mean, everyone's welcome to come on here, because I think you should come on here. I don't care what people keep saying, like, I'm not going to come on there. It's like, well, this is the time to, come on to state your case. And if you want to get to the masses, why not? I mean, and now the aldermen don't have to, because they're not running against anyone, but, still, I mean, I still want to know what each alderman represents and all that. I mean,
everybody's welcome, but don't make it like you're doing us a favor.
No.
Please come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast. We'll give you snowballs.
All right, that's enough of that, Skoo. Lake Forest Hospital wants to add 100 beds. Okay. Yes.
Why? Didn't we just build that building, and wasn't there a study around how many beds? I mean, I know they kept the same amount of beds and you just built a bigger building, but
I haven't looked recently, but
kind of weird.
They've had a shortage of ICU beds there.
Oh God, yeah.
Like in the 95 percentile. So I haven't looked lately, but
don't have to go there. Don't have to go to the emergency room. That's not a fun adventure.
Oh God.
It's a mess.
Well, it is rated a C.
I mean, from what I've heard and seen, it's less than a C. That's being, for a beautiful building like that money spent to get that.
Well, it just shows you it's about the people, Skoo.
What was that TV show way back when? St. Elsewhere?
St. Elsewhere, yeah. I think that was from Cook County.
St. Allegiance? Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to learn how to treat gunshot wounds? No better place. Just saying.
No, thank you. What else is going on?
Christmas, man. This is Christmas Eve. What are we doing? Do you celebrate Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or both?
Both. We do both. Yep. We're going to go out to a couple places, I think. Have her side of the family come in.
Where are you guys going to go? Maybe I'll run into you. Celebrate.
No, you won't. They're family things.
You never know. We run into each other.
That's true. What about you?
Yeah, we'll be in town. We'll be doing some cooking, Helen. I'm not sure what the recipe would be. It looks like it's going to be kind of cold, so might have to do some rearranging on the patio.
Deep fry?
No, it's gonna be too cold for deep fried.
Really?
Cooper, deep
Cooper.
fried. Roof.
Well, come here. What's wrong? Come up. Head up. Come here. Come on. Get over here. Oh, there he
The
is.
official dog of the podcast, Cooper. Oh, best. Roof.
Who's
Roof.
that?
Roof. Roof. Roof.
Oh, who's that?
What? He can't fool me.
He heard something out there.
Is it Prue? Prue, I kid. It's gonna be cold.
Well, I can't wait. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's gonna be cold, and then
But what do you guys? What's your? I know you're the food guy. What's your Christmas menu look like, opposed from your Thanksgiving?
very cheap, very cheap.
Is it
Very cheap? Yeah.
really
Short term stuff. It's in and out. A lot of oven, appetizers, that type of stuff. The wife really takes over. I'm a Thanksgiving. That's like the A game. That's when I really bring it out, but nothing too great. It depends. We'll have people coming from out of town. If the snow hits, there might be an issue. You got to move.
You get the roast beast in the oven and all that, or no?
No. It's small stuff. It's almost like homemade pizzas, that type of thing. Nothing, Helen, you're disappointed. I know. I understand.
Wow. I figured you'd have a big feast, Christmas feast.
Well, it could. It just like if nobody comes, it's like Thanksgiving. Everybody came at once, and this could be like
Right.
Nobody shows up, and you got a freezer full of stuff. So, we'll see. And then the next week's New Year's Eve, and the next show we'll be going through our top played shows.
That'll be a fun one.
Not as fun as our first year. I think our first year,
that's true.
people said that we've mellowed out as we've aged. Have you heard that?
No, I mean, I see people all the time. They're like, love your, I'm like cringing because it's like, oh, you're the podcast guy. But I'm like, yeah, maybe, depends. We love you.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people say, we don't like you, but my response is, why? Come on the show. No.
Hey, it's like an Amazon review that has nothing but 5 stars. Ain't legit.
That's right.
The minute you try to make everybody happy, you make nobody happy. So it is what it is.
Well, I think you've done a great job, Pete.
Skoo, I think this has been the perfect teamwork effort, and I am curious to do the Christmas poll, the coffee bean count poll. Who would be the only people that answer those things are the passionate ones. So you think it'll be heavy Prue, heavy Randy?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, it's a unique, as I said, situation, and take everything out. You got two, I think, can do a good job as mayor. I mean, not slighting any of them, but
yeah,
I just, struggle with how it came about, and I fully support our process in the city and who we've put forward. I don't know. I mean, it could be. I think I also think, Pete, it's a popularity thing,
right?
And that's the thing that is just, it shouldn't be. And
I think we do it about this time once a month, and it's just leading up to the election. Maybe if the caucus sees that, hey, we're down, maybe that'll fire them up to go out and.
Well, here's my thing is, my thing is, you know what? If the candidates don't want to come on, I want to hear the people that are for or against.
Yeah,
come on,
right,
and state their case.
Yeah, nobody wants.
I mean, that's what I want. It's like, why Prue, why Randy, and come on and let's have that discussion. But I just don't. I really think, Pete, I think the funny thing is, I think this poll is going to fall in very commonalities of stuff we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think when you start seeing it, it's like going, yeah, okay. Got it.
Yeah. Anonymous.
Exactly.
Well, it's all we got. It's all we got. It's the Lake Forest Podcast mayoral poll, Christmas Eve poll.
Well, let's do this. Let's do mayoral, because it's not about the mayor, it's the slate. We got school board, we got alderman and mayor,
I don't, are they contesting the school board?
No, but what I'm saying is, even if it's not contested,
Yeah.
It's not contested.
Yeah.
You're not voting?
Parents want to know who's on that board. Yeah.
I mean, you still have a right, even though it's not contested, you still have to vote for a candidate. I mean, I believe you still vote for the candidate. You don't.
Well,
they don't just get passed through.
If you rewind, you'll see the very first episodes where we were interviewing the school board members.
Right.
Caucus.
So we want them to come up, but that was contested too. But
yeah,
I believe on the vote on the ballot, you still have to, when you go in and give them your ID and then go into your booth.
McLovin.
I mean, I still think you have to check the box for someone, or I think there's just a slate. You can select the slate, but I don't know. I can't remember how that.
I don't know. Anybody from the school board reach out to you?
I know a couple of them, but I don't. I think.
Okay.
I know they do the pod. I knew they do. I know they know I do the podcast, and they don't say much when I see them. So it's like, I think
please let us help support you. Please let us do you a favor. God, is that really? What really burns my butt, Skoo?
Tell me, Pete.
A flame 3 feet high.
I don't follow that. Tell me.
You've never heard that one before?
No.
Seriously.
Please expand. Well, a flame that really chased me is if a flame's 3 feet high. That's it may maybe not be hitting you, but that takes me down.
It cinches my ankles. Oh, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Chanukah, Kwanzaa, Solstice. What are the other ones?
Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us. Oh my God. Where's the steel pole?
I don't want to say someone in your house might be using it.
Skoo.
Kidding.
Merry Christmas. All right, over now, buddy.
Peace.
The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Make a memory of a lifetime with Shark Eye Outdoors out of Longboat Key, Florida. Experience their shark beach fishing, kayak tours, and fossil hunting. Go to sharkeyeoutdoors.com to schedule an outing now. Forest Bluff Real Estate Group serves Illinois, Wisconsin, Lake Forest, and Lake Bluff. John Josephidis, Laura Lee Van Fleet, and of course, Michelle Parno. Get a free market analysis now at forestbluffrealestate.com. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters. Reverend Luke Back from the Church of the Holy Spirit. Matt A., Elizabeth C., Costa Lance, Otto, RDM, John C., and then we have the Lake Forest Breakfast Group, Broad Stop Kenosha, Captain Mike's Kenosha, Greentown Tavern Waukegan, and the Frolic Lounge in Waukegan.